Hello and good evening, I guess, in Japan. Good evening, everybody. My name is Randolph Galler from the Ruhr University in Bochum in Germany. And I would like, first of all, to thank you very much for participating in this webinar series, which is organized by the European Union delegation to Japan. And I, of course, would also like to thank you for your interest in our university, in the Ruhr University Bochum, which we're going to present in the coming 30 minutes. As mentioned, we have 30 minutes for a presentation and 15 minutes afterwards for your questions, which we will try to answer as good and as much as possible. After the presentation of our university, of RUB, as we call it in an abbreviation, please afterwards don't hesitate to ask anything you want to know, anything which comes to your mind, and use this question and answer button for your questions. Putting a question, you may use English, you may use German, you may use Japanese. And I'm not alone here. As you may see on the screen, I've got two colleagues. One of them is called Daniel Wolnik. He is very fluent in Japanese, and that's why we're going to have the presentation in a couple of minutes in Japanese as well. My other colleague is Ms. Giedre Juknevici-Jute. Like me, unfortunately, she does not speak Japanese, but thanks to Daniel, we will manage to answer your questions. We will hopefully have a good presentation, and I think we are ready to start now. Daniel, please, the floor is yours.
皆様、こんにちは。本日、ボーフォン大学のウェビナーにご参加いただきまして、どうもありがとうございます。私はウォルニック・ダニエルと申します。ルール大学で日本史を教えています。今日はボーフォン大学をご紹介させていただきます。その後は質疑応答もありますので、何かご質問ありましたら、ぜひご自由に質問してください。では、ボーフォン大学自体を紹介する前に、まずはボーフォンはどんな町なのかについてお話ししたいと思います。では、ボーフォンはどこにあるでしょうか。ボーフォンはドイツの西部にありまして、具体的にルール地方にあります。ルール地方はドイツの中で一番人口が多い大都市圏で、人口は500万人以上です。つまり、ドイツの首都ベルリンより大きいです。大学は22あります。この地図をご覧いただければお分かりになると思いますが、本当にヨーロッパの中心部にあります。つまり、電車で短い時間でアムステルダム、パリ、ミュンヘン、ベルリンまで行けます。とても便利な位置だと思います。では、ボーフォンとルール地方は昔は重工業地帯で、それは有名だと思います。特にその重工業と炭酸地帯でありまして、でも1970年代からは、その経済構造が変化して、今は科学技術、という分野は経済的には重要な役割を果たしています。筑波大学と似ているところが多いので、筑波はその去年からボーフォン大学の姉妹都市になりました。ボーフォンといえば、またはルール地方、といえば、煙や、煙突をイメージする人は多いのではないかと思いますが、実はそうではなくて、ボーフォンと、ルール地方はとても緑が多くて、文化的な活動も活発になりました。ボーフォンはとても賑やかな街で、その飲食店街とかは、ドイツの中でもとても有名です。あとは、私立劇場とオーケストラ、フェスティバルも多くて、文化的にはとても面白いと思います。はい、では次は大学ですね。この写真はボーフォン大学のメインキャンパスを見せています。ボーフォン大学は3つのキャンパスありますけれども、これはメインキャンパスですね。このキャンパスは あと、その都市の中心、町の中心部から5キロぐらい離れており、とても、緑が多くて自然に恵まれています。特に夏や春にはとてもいい、感じです。授業は、98% ぐらいはこのキャンパスで行われています。湖と、ルール川もこの近くにあります。ボーフム大学はドイツの最も有名で重要な大学の一つだと言っていいと思います。学生数は4万3000人以上で、その中から、国際留学生は、ごめんなさい。留学生は、6000人、6000人以上います。スタッフも5000人以上もありますので、どんな意味でも大規模な大学だと思います。ボーフム大学は総合大学で、つまり工学、理化学、医学、文学、すべての分野があります。その学部は20あります。それはすべて一つのキャンパスになっていますので、とても便利です。どんな皆様はどんなご関心を持っていて、ボーフム皆様のご関心に確かに適切なプログラムを提供できると思います。では、修士課程だと英語で行われているプログラムもありますが、メインはドイツ語で行われているプログラムですね。この英語で行われたプログラムは、ヒューマニティス、文学、社会科学、または、理系と工学、その3つの、分野に分けています。はい。でも、17、のプログラム、英語で行われているプログラムですね。その学士課程はすべてドイツ語で行われています。その大体の、修士課程もドイツ語で、行われています。でも、多くの留学生は、ボーフム大学で、学士号や修士号を取るのを目指すのではなくて、半年や1年間ぐらいボーフム大学にいて、その場合は正規課程に入るのではなくて、その大きなインターナショナルコースカタログという国際センターのリストから自由に授業を選べます。それはどんな学部でも英語で授業を提供しますので、それは本当に自由に選択できます。もちろん、ドイツに留学したときは、しているときは、ドイツ語を勉強したい人が多くて、それはもちろんボーフム大学でもできます。それは無料です。つまり学期中では、本当に、初級から上級、超上級までのレベルの授業が提供されていて、それはすべて無料になります。でも、学期が始まる前に、つまり夏休み、春休みには、その集中講義、ドイツ語の集中講義もありますので、それに参加したいなら、少しお金がかかりますけど、とても、おすすめです。それはちょっと後でもう、詳しく説明いたします。では、どうやってボーフム大学に留学できますか。まずは3つの留学生のタイプがあります。1つ目は、Exchange Student、つまり交換留学生です。交換留学生というのは、ボーフム大学と交換協定を結んでいる大学から来る留学生です。 フリームーバーというのは、ボーフム大学と協定を結んでいない大学からボーフム大学に、来る学生です。そして、ディグリーシーキング、つまり、学士号や修士号、または博士号を目指す、ボーフム大学で目指す学生です。毎年500人くらいの留学生がいまして、その中から27人は、去年、日本人の学生でした。インターナショナルセンター、ガラーさんが働いているインターナショナルセンターは、その留学生の面倒を、見てあげますので、ぜひ何か問題がありましたら相談してご相談くださいませ。学費はありませんけど、楽器教材費というものはあります。それはちょっと学費と違って、つまり授業の料金ではなくて、それより定期券、また食堂のための、教材費ですね。でも、それを払ったら、ボーフォンだけではなくて、ルール州法だけではなくて、ノースライン・ウェストファリア州の全部をカバーする定期券を、もらえます。その定期券で本当に無料でノースライン・ウェストファリア州の中で電車とかバス、あとはトラムとか地下鉄を、使えます。とても、便利です。交換留学生の場合は、どういうふうにボーフム大学に、応募できるでしょうか。その応募過程は大体そちらの大学の国際センターを通じて行われています。つまり、国際センター、そちらの大学の、国際センターとご相談して、ボーフム大学に行きたいと、言ってください。その場合は、もしそちらの大学によって選考されたら、その国際センター、そちらの国際センターは、こちらの国際センターを連絡して、やり取りを、始めます。その後のやり取りは大体ネットで行われています。つまり、ボーフム大学からいろいろ書類がリンクやメールで、送ります。では、フリームーバーの場合は、大体同じようなやり方ですけれども、まずはそちらの国際センターはボーフム大学に、連絡を取ったら、まずはボーフム大学はその皆様の、興味がある学部に連絡して、その、認可を頼んでいます。その後の過程は、同じになりますね。大体オンラインで、ネットで行われています。ドイツで学士課程、正規課程や修士課程に入りたいと思った学生は、まず、その資格を確認しなければなりません。つまり、学士課程に入りたいなら、ですね、大学入学資格、ドイツの大学入学資格は必要ですが、日本で高校を卒業したら、大体ドイツの大学でも勉強できると思いますが、それはまずチェックしないと、ダメですね。それは国際センターチェックして、あげます。そして、もちろん言語能力は必要です。ドイツ語の修士課程に入りたいなら、もちろんドイツ語の能力は必要となっています。その場合は、ゲーテとか、いろいろ試験ありますけど、その試験を受けて、そういう、テストの結果、試験の結果をボーフム大学にも送ってください。英語は同じようなやり方あります。大体 IELTS や TOEFL とかが、必要とされています。そしてそういう資格がありましたら、オンラインで応募してください。このリンクをクリックして、応募できます。じゃあ、留学生としてボフン大学に来る場合は、国際センターは利用のアパートを大体提供できますね。保証はないんですけど、応募者が多いから保証はないんですけど、大体の留学生は利用に入れます。その利用は家具付きで、シングルアパートメント、つまり一人暮らしのアパートがありまして、そして共有する部屋もあります。それぞれによって値段が違いますけど、一般的に言えば、とても、安いですね。300ユーロ、400ユーロぐらいかかります。ユーシリティも含めて。はい、では、学期が始まる前に、そのオリエンテーションの授業、オリエンテーションのコースはあります。それは前に言ったように、ちょっとお金がかかりますけれども、とても便利です。それはドイツ語の集中講義を含めて、またはワークショップ、インターカルチャルコミュニケーションのワークショップ、または、遠足、見物の遠足とスポーツとか、キャンパスのオリエンテーションもすべてが入っていますので、おすすめです。参加するのはおすすめです。はい、次はカレンダーですね。ボフォン大学での講義期間は10月の中旬から2月の中旬までです。もしその秋学期に始めたいと思いましたら、7月15日までに応募しなければなりません。春学期の場合は、ドイツでいうと、夏学期になりますね。それは、4月の、上旬から、7月までですね。その、応募締め切りは1月15日です。はい、では、ボーフン大学は日本の大学ととても深い関係を持っています。大学全体のレベルでは、東京大学、大阪大学、筑波大学などとの協定を結んでおり、その学部のレベルには、もっと多い大学と、協定を結んでいます。特に東アジア研究学部はたくさんの、日本の大学と交換留学協定を結んでいます。では、もちろん、ボフン大学にも授業以外にはいろいろ活動ができます。アクティビティは多くて、部活のようなものもボフン大学にはあります。スポーツ、ダンシングとか、その旅行、サークルとかみたいなものもあって、ぜひ楽しんでいただきたいと思います。では、最後にボフン大学の利点をまとめさせていただきます。ボフン大学はとてもダイナミックなキャンパス大学で、すごいインフラストラクチャーの面でも、大学の評判の面でも優れていると、思います。教育の質も高いのにあまり高くないです。学費がなくて、物価、家賃もとても安いです。特にミュンヘンとかベルリン、ハンブルグとかと比べたらとても安いです。月に最大には10万円ぐらいかかります。博士課程や修士課程の学生は個人的な指導も受けられますので、そのアカデミックのサポートもとてもいいと思います。 学生にはいろいろサポートする施設もありますので、特に国際センター、本当にいいサービスがあります。その研究の面でも、ボーフム大学はとても有名で、いい研究環境だと思います。ボーフムとルール地方には、もちろん職場が多くて、それもドイツで生活したい、ドイツになんか引っ越したいと思っている人には、とてもいいチャンスだと思います。いろいろ、面接とかはできると思います。最後に World Factory Startup Center というものがありまして、もしスタートアップとか作りたい学生には、それはいいチャンスですね。その World Factory Startup Center は、学生にそのスタートアップを作ることにサポートしてあげます。では、何かご質問が、ありましたら、このメールアドレスまで、ご連絡ください。では、ご清聴ありがとうございます。以上です。
Hello, everybody. I think the presentation is finished now, and we already tried in between to answer as many questions as possible. I now check the questions and answers button to see what we can do now verbally by talking. As far as I see, there is nothing which has been written in Japanese, so we don't need Daniel for translation. Daniel, thanks a lot. Great job. There is one question which I will just answer straight away. The question is, do I have to speak German well to take an English master program? No, of course not. I mean, it's always an advantage to speak German well, because outside campus, outside the program, the master program, it is much easier to communicate with the people, to find your way. But first of all, most Germans speak English rather well, not always perfect. So it's possible to get along also outside campus using English. And secondly, our English taught master programs, they're entirely in English, and the classroom discussions are held in English. The examination is done in English. So for our English taught master programs, it's not necessary to speak German. There are some programs which are described as German taught, but may have some English lectures. That's another case. In this case, you would have to speak both to be able to follow those programs. But as mentioned, this is not true for the English taught master programs. Okay, aerospace. There I have a difficulty. I read the question. There is a colleague asking, I hold a bachelor's degree. Can I enroll in a master's course by choosing academic fields related to aerospace? So that's two questions in one. One, of course, having a bachelor degree in general allows to inscribe in a master program. There may be specific conditions, so I can't generally say, yes, it will work in any case, but in principle, it's possible. You need a bachelor degree to enroll for a master's course. Second question, aerospace. We don't have an aerospace program which is 100% aerospace. We have elements of aerospace technology in our engineering programs. But as mentioned, it's not the main thing then. It's one of several issues which you would learn in engineering, in mechanical engineering. And I'm pretty sure that the mechanical engineering parts which contain aerospace are given mostly in German. There's one program, for example, or one stream in an engineering program which has propulsion, which is very important for aerospace technologies. But as mentioned, we don't have an entire aerospace program. Next question, are there any PhD programs that are taught in English? My major is developmental biology. PhD education is a little bit different from the British or the US model. It's more an individual approach where people, students, PhD students, have to contact a professor who is going to be their main supervisor. And there are very few, if any, lectures. That, of course, depends, again, a little bit on the background of the student. If a student is, in general, capable of doing a PhD at our university, the professors in charge will check his background and will say, okay, this goes 100%, you can start directly. Or they will say, you need to do one course here and one course there to be qualified accordingly to do your PhD. And that may mean that you have to take a course from a master program, or maybe even two. And then it depends whether these courses are given in German or in English. But this, besides some side subjects, is the main part which is taught in a PhD when you do a PhD at our university. In your field, we should have possibilities to do a PhD. You would need to contact the professor directly in order to inquire whether your qualifications are okay. Okay. What else do we have? Giedre, do you see any question which we did not yet answer?
Yes, please, let's check me. I don't think so, because you answered about the English, German master programs, aerospace. Okay, how are architectural programs in this COVID-19 situation? Online?
Okay, yeah, I see it. Architectural programs, good point. I really would have to ask in the faculty. Besides, we don't have architecture. We have civil engineering, which of course contains element of architecture, but well, roughly speaking, I would say architecture is more the, let's say, artistic or art parts of civil engineering. And if you want to do straight away architecture, it might be better to ask to inquire at another university. But again, if architecture, or if in our case, civil engineering with parts of architecture in it, contains lab activities, contains practical activities, then they may be given face-to-face. If that is not necessary, they will be given for the time being, then they will be given online. And as mentioned, we do not know, nobody knows exactly how the COVID-19 pandemic is developing. Right now, we have an increase in Germany, still relatively modest in comparison to other countries, but not really good, not really well. So the next weeks, maybe month, will be very decisive to see what we're going to offer online in the coming semester, so in the spring semester 2021, and what are we going to give face-to-face in presence. So it's something we cannot really see right now. We have to plan for both alternatives, and of course we would be most happy to welcome students and to give as many lectures and activities face-to-face, but this is probably nobody can tell you right now.
Somebody is writing that he or she didn't get an answer to his or her question, but maybe you could repeat the question.
I think it's the first question above.
The first question.
Yeah, in German.
Joint programs, you mean? That's the first of my screen.
I wanted also to add that for those who answered the questions and Rand will answer them, also tried to all the time to write a link to the chat where you can find more information on our website. So please also check your chats.
Okay, maybe the first question, because it might be a question of general interest. A student wrote, do you have joint program? For example, computer science and linguistics. We have elements of linguistics in our computer science program, which is called Applied Computer Science. Now the question is, what do you mean with joint program? We have, for example, a couple of programs, around about 20, which are jointly delivered with another university or with several other universities. That would be one answer. My guess is that the question goes more into the direction, do we have programs which are interdisciplinary, which join different topics from different fields. For example, like computer science, which would be typically in the engineering departments or faculties, and linguistics, which might be more located in philology or languages. So actually we have both. A lot of our study programs are interdisciplinary, so they cover various areas. They are not strictly limited to only engineering or only natural sciences or only social sciences, but they contain elements of the other areas. In all our programs, we have kind of section where students can choose from other faculties additional lectures which they want to take, and they of course can be from, let's say, history or politics or social sciences for a student coming from engineering, and vice versa. But this is it's more or less like a minor. It's not a big part of what a student has to do during a program. And concerning the jointly delivered programs with other universities, we have a list of them as well, and I put a link on our in one of the answers, but that's something probably the others can't see. We have a program, well, a little leaflet which is online as well, which is called the International Master Courses. I just put it in the screen here, so now it should be visible. This contains all joint programs in the sense that they are they're organized and given together with other universities. Most of these programs, in most of these programs, the majority of lectures is delivered here at our university, but sometimes it's half-half. You have to spend, for example, 2 semesters at a partner university and 2 semesters here on campus. And most of these programs are master programs. So we don't have any bachelor programs so far, with one exception, which we deliver together with other universities.
Ich glaube aber, dass die Person hatte aber eine andere Frage.
Okay,
das war, ich glaube, das, was gemeint war, ich habe gerade das auch schriftlich jetzt beantwortet. Das war so ein längerer Text, wo die Person gefragt hat, mit den Zeugnissen, wer das überprüft. Ich habe jetzt das im Chat geantwortet und einen Link gepostet. Also wenn Sie auf diesen Link klicken, können Sie alle Informationen finden und auch unsere Zulassung kontaktieren. Sie beraten Sie auch gerne und überprüfen auch die Zeugnisse und ja, genau, und dann sagen, ob das ausreichend ist.
Okay, that was for everybody who speaks fluent German. Could you repeat that in English? Or Daniel, would you be able to say this in Japanese?
Sorry, I was
yeah.
No, I can repeat it in English. The question was about the documents, about the diplomas, who check them at the university. If you, for example, want to enter master's degree, and if you don't know if your diplomas will be accepted, you can contact our admission office. Maybe I don't know with the general chat, our admission office are there for you to check the documents and tell you if they are let's say enough for studying your master's or bachelor's degree at our university. Randolph, do you want to answer the question about the online classes now?
Yes,
the question is what the percentage of classes are in online now. Is Ruhr considering doing lectures in all courses? Maybe it's important for everybody.
Of course. Well, I answered this in various questions, but of course, when we are typing, it's not visible for everybody. So the relation of online classes and to face-to-face classes. We have a general tendency or general policy to do everything which is, or almost everything if possible, which is lab-based, where people have to do something in a laboratory to do this face-to-face. And we're opening the campus for freshmen, for beginners, for students who are in the first semester. And in general, Daniel mentioned it in the presentation, we've got 43,000 students usually. Of course, in these times, it's impossible that they are all, or even a bigger part of them, is on campus at the same time. So we have a policy not to allow more than 4,000 students on campus. That is what we do now. So everything else, so lectures and learning activities for students who are not in the first semester and who are not doing practical lab work is given online. And we don't know how this is going to develop, of course. Our hopes are that we will be in a position in the coming summer semester to give more courses face-to-face, maybe all. I'm personally a little bit skeptical whether this will happen, but this is something which entirely depends on the development of the COVID-19 pandemics, and we can't say that right now. What I can say is that we have a couple of 150, I don't know exactly, international students on campus now, which are partly following on campus is maybe wrong, in Bochum, in Germany now, which are partly following lectures online and partly doing some practical work in face-to-face. So it's possible to do a semester here for the time being, but the question will always be how much of it has to be delivered online and how much can we deliver face-to-face. So that is something which will be decided having a look on the current situation of the COVID-19 crisis.
Randolph, the organizers asking for stop sharing your.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay.
I told them we can skip it.
Okay.
Well, okay.
They say they ask you.
Okay. Daniel, kannst du den Screen?
Okay, there is also a question about internships, and are internships available to international students? If so, which major can I apply for an internship? Actually, there is no limits for internship, I think. So you can apply, I think, in all the majors, but you have to contact the faculty or the institute directly and explain what is like your idea about the internship, what you would like to do, and to like clear up if there is somebody who could supervise you. So it's the best way actually to contact the faculty first, and then if it comes to an internship, the international office is happy to support you with all the organizational things and all the stuff. Randolph, could you maybe answer the question? In one before university seminar, it is mentioned that the joint program and the double degree are kind of different things. So could you explain a bit more in this point?
Yeah, well, that's rather easy. Double degrees are programs which are delivered with another university in partnership, and the students who do these programs and who graduate will receive 2 degrees. 1 degree from our university and 1 degree from the partner university. In a joint program, it's similar, but not exactly the same. Joint programs are normally delivered by more than 2 universities, and the student does not get 2 or maybe even 3 degrees, but he gets 1 joint degree. So at the end, after graduation, it's 1 parchment, not 2. And on this parchment, on this degree paper, so to say, all the universities which participate in the program or all the universities where the student has actually done something during the program will be mentioned. So that's the difference between joint degrees and double degrees, or joint programs and double degree programs. There's another question. To obtain a master's degree I choose, may I submit a thesis in English or German to an academical supervisor, an akademische Mutter oder akademischer Vater? I think that is the supervisor. I would say, as a rule of thumb, every academic supervisor is able to accept a thesis in English. In the German taught programs, it's of course usual that students deliver their thesis in German, but that's not a condition. It depends a little bit on the topic. It depends also a little bit on the faculty and on the academic supervisor. So there is always the possibility to ask, and I'm pretty sure that in 90% the supervisor will say, okay, you can do this in English, although the study program you're enrolled in is maybe in German. But it's a question which we cannot answer that it's 100% this way or 100% that way.
So I just want to say that like 5 minutes I think, left. So
Yep.
for everybody of you, if you have questions afterwards, you're really welcome to contact us via email. And please don't hesitate to write and ask your questions. Or we also offer a Skype consultation hour. You can find everything on our website. So we will be happy to answer the questions, and also we'll be happy to welcome you to RUB in the future.
Of course. Well, at this point in time, it's mainly our intention to leave a good impression and to make you consider our university in the future for a program, for studies, or even only for an exchange semester. As mentioned, the time is not really suited persuade students to go abroad, but of course we hope this will change again, and we are very much working together with a lot of Japanese partner universities which we already have. Of course, we hope as well to be ready to be in a position to visit Japan and to have the next fair face-to-face like last year. But as all we can do now is this online presentation. There maybe is one question which I would like to answer in public, because it might be interesting for others as well. One participant asked whether internships are available to international students.
I answered it all.
You answered in public, or you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then then I was distracted.
Yeah.
Then this doesn't need to be answered again. Do we have any question left now? There was one student or one participant who said that he didn't get an answer and asked something 7
we
minutes ago.
answered it.
Okay, we answered
We answered it.
Okay. Then please, more questions. It's your chance to get some answers from us. Well, okay, I can only ask you then, if you have no questions now, to write your questions. If some are coming up later on, we have maybe you should put this, do we have the possibility to put something in the question and answer section which is visible for everybody? Because then we could, the people could use the Rubis email for questions. We don't, I think.
Maybe we can put it to the chat. No?
I don't know. I think the chat is not.
Alle Diskussions. Wait, I put our email address one more time to the chat.
And I do something very, very old school. So this is rubis@rub.de. Sorry for my bad handwriting, but this is the address where you can write any question you have to, and we'll answer it as soon as possible, normally within the same day, but not on the weekends. I think we can't do more at the moment, and I thank you very much for joining this webinar. I hope we could answer some question. I hope we made a good impression. I thank Giedre and Daniel very much for their participation in this webinar. Yeah, and I hope to see some of you on our campus in the future, be it in the coming semester or be it later on. You're most welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.